Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Wanted to talk about a little more of the men's body types. I love the lifting within reason. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it at all, but the lifting has really helped me. It's been a great addition to my life. I remember starting lifting back in high school, my senior year. Actually, it was after football season was over, we finally got some good weights. If we had had those darn weights before, we probably could have had a really good team. We did have a good team, but we could have had a lot of more strong guys. But anyway, the lifting is a great way. It's great for young men. It's great for women too. It's great for old people as they get older. As Mark Ripito and Starting Strength says, very good for older people. So I'm going to keep lifting my whole life. And I've talked about in other places, I do have some injuries, and you can get injured weight training. You don't get injured as bad as sports, but you can get pretty injured, and so keep that in mind. Getting back to the body types, probably the best body type, the one I've always wanted, was the big body, big arms body type of a big pro bodybuilder or a massive bodybuilder or a power lifter. But that body type is really hard to get, the big body and the big arms. It's very hard to get the big arms without the chemicals. Sorry, guys, that's what I see. The guys with the biggest arms, with the biggest bodies are going to be chemically helped. So the next body type that's really good is the smaller body, leaner, but with the massive arms. And usually this will be your tradesman type of guys that do some weight training. They'll have those gigantically ripped arms, and the arms will be in bigger proportion to their body, so they'll look incredible. And that's not the body type I have, right? That's the one I've wanted, but it's the one that's I'm not going to be able to get, because I have the third, what I would call the third best. I always hate being not on the top, but sometimes you got to accept your limitations. So the third best is the big body, decent arms look. So yeah, a lot of guys, bigger guys especially, will have the big bodies, and you start weight training and your bigger body gets even a little bit bigger because you got more muscle, especially get the bigger back and the big chest, and of course you got a bigger gut, but you can work on that, and the shoulders and the lower back and your butt and your legs. So your body is big, but in proportion your arms aren't as big. Now it turns out when you actually do the measuring and actually figure out what big arms are, that if you're training, your arms are probably pretty darn big compared to somebody who doesn't lift. It's just that your body is big, so your arms look smaller in proportion. So you want your arms, you have to work your arms, right? You got to do the curls and the tricep work. And I'm irritated because I hurt my elbow a while back, so those lifts are tougher. But again, the third best lift, the big body, the big arms. What's the fourth best? Well, everything else is no good if you ask me, right? You could have the big body and small arms, which is a very horrible look. You gotta at least have decent arms. Those are the fat guys with the thin arms. Some fat guys got big arms because if they work a little bit, they work out a little bit, so they have fairly big arms. But that's not ideal. You want more musculature. What's another one? Well, the thin body and the thin arms. Well, I don't know. I don't think that looks good at all, if you ask me. But a lot of men look that way. They're computerized, or they're heavy in the cardio, so their arms are small and their body is small. Well, I don't think that's a good way. So I would focus on working yourself up into one of those three better areas. Again, the big body, big arms, or the smaller body, big arms, or the big body, big, decent arms. So anyway, that's it for today.